6 quadratic equations. Essential question, how do you factor a quadratic? So the quadratic equation in standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c. So that is our quadratic equation, ax squared plus bx plus c. So every problem you'll see in this lesson will be written in that form. All right, so we need to factor, meaning we need to turn this into a problem that looks like multiplication. So what we're going to do in order to factor each one of these problems in this lesson is make a little T-chart off to the side. On our T-chart, we're going to have two columns. The left-hand column, we need to multiply to make C, and in the right-hand column, we need to add to make B. So what the C and the B mean is that A is whatever goes next to the x squared. So in this example, A is 1. B is 9. C is 20. So if I write those in, my C, I have to figure out what can I multiply to make 20 and add to make 9. So let's start by listing off ways to make 20. So what numbers can we multiply to make 20? 20 and 1, 10 and 2, 4 and 5. So now out of those three choices, which one adds to make 9? Well, 20 plus 1 makes 21, so it can't be that. 10 and 2 make 12, it can't be that. 5 and 4 make 9. So it has to be those two numbers that are in the problem. So we're going to set it up to look like a problem that's been FOILed. In order to make x squared, we have to have x and x. Then we're going to take our positive 4 and our positive 5 and put them in our parentheses. Now here's how you know this answer is correct. This is our answer right here. We have factored x squared plus 9x plus 20. If I were to FOIL this, my first would be x times x, so x squared. My outer would be 5 times x, so 5x. My inner would be 4 times x, so 4x. My last would be 4 times 5, so 20. These added together would make 9x, and I would end up with what I started with, x squared plus 9x plus 20. All right, x squared plus 11x plus 24. Let's label our A, B, and C again. A, since there's nothing there, is 1. B is 11. C is 24. Make my table off to the right-hand side here. I have to ask myself, what can I multiply to make C and add to make B? Well, my C is 24, and my B is 11. So let's see, what can we multiply to make 24? 24 and 1, 12 and 2, 4 and 6, and 3 and 8. All right, so let's start adding these. 24 and 1 make 25, so it can't be that. 12 and 2 make 14, can't be that. 4 and 6 make 10, can't be that. 3 and 8 make 11. So that has to be the correct answer. So make our two parentheses. We again know x squared is x and x. And then we need a positive 3 and a positive 8. It doesn't matter which one you put in which parenthesis, but it has to both be positive. Because positive 3 times positive 8 made 24, and positive 3 plus positive 8 made positive 11. Now I'm not going to FOIL on every one to show you that this works, but I'll do it on one more. So x times x is x squared. Outer x times 8 is 8x. Inner would be 3x. Last would be 24. 8 and 3 make 11, which gives me what I started with. So essentially you should be ending up with what you started with if you factored correctly and then you FOIL to check. All right, x squared minus 8x plus 12. Put the 1 in front. A is 1, B is negative 8, C is 12. So what can I multiply to make B, or excuse me, multiply to make C, and add to make B? Well, my C is 12, and my B is negative 8. So what can we multiply to make 12? 12 and 1, 3 and 4, 6 and 2. Now the thing is with this one, we need to get negative 8 for B. So in order to make a positive 12 and a negative 8, we're going to have to make some of these numbers either positive or negative. So if I look at 12 and 1, I can't add or subtract 12 and 1 to ever get negative 8. So it can't be that. 3 and 4, no way to make 8. You could make 1, you could make 7, but there's no way to make 8. So that won't work either. Now 6 and 2 could work because 6 and 2 could form 8, but I need a negative 8. So that means I need to make my 6 and my 2 negative because then they'll add to make negative 8. But then keep in mind, negative 6 times negative 2 still multiply to make positive 12. So if they're both negative, they add to make negative 8. They multiply to make positive 12. So then I've got to make sure I have x minus 6 and x minus 2 in my parentheses. So they're not all going to be addition like the first two problems were. So I have factored that quadratic. All right, x squared minus 7x minus 18. So A is 1, negative 7 is B, negative 18 is C. So what can I multiply to make C, which is negative 18? What can I add to make B, which is negative 7? So what can I multiply to make 18? 18 and 1, 9 and 2, 6 and 3. So the one to me that looks like I could make some form of 7 is the 9 and 2. But this time, if I need them to multiply to make negative 18, only one of them can be negative. Because a negative times a positive makes a negative. If they're both negative, the answer will be positive. If they're both positive, the answer will be positive. So, in order to have them add to make negative 7, I need to make the 9 negative. So negative 9 and 2 make negative 7. Negative 9 times 2 makes negative 18. So then I have x minus 9, because the 9 is negative, and then a positive 2. So x plus 2. Again, you could have x plus 2 and then x minus 9. It wouldn't matter. But the 9 has to be negative, and the 2 has to be positive. All right. Now this one you'll notice something a little different. It's written backwards. What I would do before you do anything is rewrite it the way that all the problems have been so far. You just have to make sure you have the right sign in front of each number. So our x squared is positive, our 2x is positive, our 15 is negative. So that's how I had to write it, x squared plus 2x minus 15. So my A is 1, my B is 2.
The AVID pre-meeting
My C
has
is
started
negative
in
15.
room A120. The AVID
So what can I
pre-meeting has started
multiply
in
to
room
make C?
A120.
And add to make B. Well, 15 would be 15 and 1, and 3 and 5. So 15 and 1 aren't going to ever get me 2, so I have to pick 3 and 5. Now I need to make negative 15, so one of those numbers is going to have to be negative. And I need to make positive 2. So negative 3 and positive 5, that's what's going to make 2. So x minus 3 and x plus 5. All right, same thing here where it's written backwards. So let's rewrite it forwards. Our x squared is positive, that should go first. Our 10x is positive, that goes in the middle. And our 9 is positive as well, so that's last. So that means my a is 1, my b is 10, my c is 9. So what can I multiply to make c and add to make b? Well, to make 9, I have 9 and 1, or 3 and 3. So the one that can make 10 is 9 and 1, positive 9, positive 1, make 10. So 9 and 1 is what I need. X plus 9, x plus 1. Summary.